Sew & Stitch Bird. Welcome to my channel. It's all about my journey in sewing, things that I make for myself, my friends and my family. Today I'm going to chat about a new to me pattern company, Sew House 7, and I made the Remy Raglan woven top. I did it in sort of a 3/4 length sleeve with a band, and I put a little bit of sneaky red rick around the edge. So I'm hoping to take a photo of me wearing that, and I'll pop that up there so you can see it. I'll definitely put the pattern up there as well. It's a relaxed fit and the sleeves can be rolled up. That was the original design to wear with a pants pattern, which was the free range slacks or the Burnside bib, which is a bit like an overall type thing. Anyway, I wanted to make mine to wear with my lane pants, but also I had another wee sneaky plan. I wanted to make a coord set. So I've got some of the fabric left over, and in a minute I'm going to chat about what options I've got for that. But anyway, getting back to this pattern, you can have the sleeves rolled up. It can have a keyhole button front opening. I decided not to do any opening. It fits over my head perfectly and I'm really happy with the result. I think it's a great wee pattern to have in your stash, especially for a woven. So I'm pleased with that. The only thing that I thought was a little bit big was it was quite big around the cuffs, but that would be an easy fit. You could put elastic in, make them smaller for the next time. So the fabric that I chose was this fabric, and you'll see it on my pic of my top up there. But as I said, I've got some left over and I'm struggling to decide because it's very lightweight rayon. It's from Drapers in the North Island, and I've got about 2 meters and it's 135 centimeters wide, and I'm just deciding whether I make a tiered skirt to go with it. I'm just sort of debating this. I might try it in Stash Hub and just see what it's going to look like with the two pieces together. So if I get that done, I'll put a pic of that up there. I was thinking maybe rather than having 3 tiers, maybe I just do, there's a version with Love Notions, the caprice skirt, and I've made that before, and just have the first tier with buttons. It has buttons at the front. I'm not even sure whether it's a faux button band or whether it's actually a button band. I think it might be faux, and then there's a tier from that. So I'll put Love Notions pattern up there so you can see what that pattern looks like. I'm thinking because the fabric is quite drape, there's a lot of drape, that maybe something that is a little bit floaty. Obviously a tight waist skirt is not going to work. The top that I make is quite sort of oversized, but it could be tucked into a skirt and sort of puffed out a bit. The other option is I could make some summer pants from the lane pants pattern that I made the other week, since they were such a success. And I have been doing quite a bit of research on Pinterest looking at coord sets, because that is something I want to do for my trip. So I've got a top and a bottom that will go together, or alternatively I can split them and wear them with other pieces. So that is something I'm working on at the moment, and I think that's going to be my next video on things that I've found and patterns to match them. Potentially ready to wear pics with patterns that I think will work. So I'm having a little bit of a look at that at the moment. This top that I made, the Sew House 7 top, I talked about my new machine last week. I made it on my new brother. It worked perfectly. I can't fault it, even though it's a cheaper machine, it worked fine. I did do French seams, so I didn't have to rush outside and use my overlocker. It worked out great. With the piece that I'm going to make to go with it, which is a bit of a coord, I'm just wondering, I've got heaps of that red rickrack left, and I'm just trying to decide whether I put it around one of the flounces. If I decide to do the faux button packet on the Caprice Love Notions, there's one version that has that, whether I put it either side of the button placket. I've only put it on the sleeves on the, what is it called? The Remy one. So House 7 Remy top. So it's got a tiny wee bit of hint of red in the fabric. So I just thought tiny wee bit of red to pop out. The fabric's just here, I'll just grab it. But it does have a lot of drape. It's just a really drapey fabric. So if I bring it closer to the camera, you can see the center has got a wee bit of red in it. It's also got white, which will be a great combo. So if I do make a coord set out of this, I could wear the top potentially with a pair of white pants or a white skirt. If I make a bottom out of it, I can also wear a white top, a navy top, red top with it. So it's got potential. So I just need to decide what kind of bottom I want. And because it's quite lightweight, I'm happy to make a skirt because it's not really the sort of material that we'd be wearing at the moment because we're in winter in New Zealand at the moment. Just the last couple of days we've had double digits, but prior to that we had a bit of a sad day. It was only about 6 degrees, so it was pretty cold. I've got my sloppy sweater on, but I cheat, and what I do is underneath I've actually got a merino top to keep me warm. So I do quite a bit of layering so I can get sort of lots of wear out of my trans-seasonal pieces. So I have been busy this afternoon because for some reason I've developed a sore back. So I haven't been sitting down until now. I've been standing up and I've been using my new projector to project some new patterns that I have purchased onto paper. I'm going to go down that track. I'm actually going to use the projector to create my patterns rather than having to stick them all together. So I, this afternoon, let us have a look in my wee book here. I did the Now by Tilly and the Buttons. I'd already made the dress, but it was a little bit tight, so I decided to go up a size to size 7. And I'm still not really 100% sure whether it's going to fit me. So I did this wee sneaky wee thing. I put about 1.5 inches in the back neck. I'm going to create an inverted pleat down the back, and I can stitch it up as far as I like, and if I need a bit of extra room, that's going to help there. So I'm doing the Tilly and the Buttons straight blouse with the ties, and I'm going to have a go at the big puffball sleeves. So I used my projector to project it out onto paper so I could cut all the pieces out. And the fabric I'm going to use is this gorgeous fabric I bought from Drapers fabric. You can't really tell the design. It's got kind of like this teardrop all over it, and it's sort of a nice bright blue and white thing. So I managed to do that. I also managed to cut out my Simplicity 8875 that I bought the other week. I'm doing View D version, which is just the short length. It doesn't have a frill at the bottom. And I'm doing without the buttons because this is going to be my twirl, and I'm just going to do it in a little gorgeous wee print. So if this one works out okay, then I will go ahead and I'll use some more expensive fabric that I bought because I want to make this dress to wear to a wedding in Brisbane. Well, that's the plan anyway. I also managed to project out my Paper Theory skirt with the side pockets, and I was going to make it in this stripy fabric, but I found some really great red and white striped fabric, and I think her name is Rayon. I'll link her below on Instagram, and she made one in red and white striped fabric, and it looks amazing. Pretty much the same stripe that I've got sitting over there, so I'm going to probably make it in that and give it a go and see what it looks like. She did the red stripes going that way across the two front pieces, and the two side pieces had the red and white going down. So I managed to get those cut out, and I also managed to cut out this afternoon, which I've been wanting to do for ages, is another Danny pinafore. Originally I was just going to do this in another plain colour, but because I've got my navy one, I thought let's do something a bit different. So I've actually cut it out in a needle cord that I purchased from Spotlight, and I'm doing this crazy lining on the inside. It's actually like little cassette players. You barely will see the lining anyway, so it doesn't matter. This is a very fine needle cord, so the only thing I had to watch with that was to make sure I had my nap going all the same way, which I think I've managed to do. The Danny really makes up short. I've added on this particular one 8 inches to the length. On my previous Danny, if you look back at my other videos, I did it in navy. I added 3 inches. So I'm hoping this is going to come well below the knee this time. Still look great with boots and things. So that's another thing that I'm keen to get made up. I'm just looking around at all this amazing fabric I have in here, and I'm thinking it's about time I got some of it made up. So I feel like I've made a great start today. So I think that's about all I've got to share with you this week. I'll definitely get some pictures of that top that I've just made on my brother's sewing machine. I've got my banana machine and my Baby Lock Imagine back from I got them serviced. I haven't had them serviced for ages, and I tell you what, they're running like a dream. I couldn't believe how blunt my overlocker blade was. It just shows you that if you have your equipment maintained, what a difference it does actually make. So anyway, I hope you've got some sewing in. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're keeping warm. Alternatively, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you're trying to keep cool. It's just crazy times. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like or comment. Tell me what skirt pattern you would do, or whether you would do pants for that fabric that I've just mentioned about to make as a coord. Anyway, bye now.